Ready? Okay. Good evening. The Charter Township of Plymouth's Board of Trustees special meeting for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 will come to order. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stewart.
Here.
Trustee Monahan.
Here.
Trustee Kermy.
Here.
Clerk Forba here. Treasurer Dorshevitz.
Here.
Supervisor Heising.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Very good. Let's have Treasurer Dorshevitz lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Approval of the agenda as far as item number E1 and I guess E2, just a minor correction. This will be for the unexpired position ending November 20th, 2024, not the 21st.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Clerk.
I move for the approval of the agenda as amended for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022.
Motion is made by Clerk Vorba. Is there a second?
Second.
By Trustee Monahan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Public comment limited to 3 minutes. I have my timer here if anybody's interested.
Good evening. I'm Dwayne Zantop. I'm going to talk about Dan Callahan. Dan Callahan submitted 51 letters of recommendation here from people from all walks of life, including a college professor, a well-known distinguished doctor. When Dan Callahan began his quest for position of trustee in 2020, he was unaware it was a paid position. He is a man who served his country, his community, a mentor, a coach, a youth sports volunteer for various charities throughout the impressive career at Ford Motor Company. He launched 24 new vehicle trucks and auto tech teacher at community college in Oahu, and the man who led his team of engineers safely out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, when the airport was being bombarded by cruise missiles. He kept his team calm, none having any military experience, through 9 armed checkpoints to safety in Geneva. None of his team would go back to finish the project. Dan returned 2 weeks later. Dan is a deliberate thinker as he assesses all aspects of a problem. Dan has sat across many a Ford VP and scores of plant managers and always told them with absolute truth of TGW issues, no matter what. Dan is not duplicitous in his desire to serve as a trustee. He only wants to serve his community. It is simple, no agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Buckley, obviously the husband of Jennifer. Long-time Plymouth Canton resident. Took a stint away to serve our country as well as serve the local community in Virginia. Been a big student of political philosophy as well as poli-sci. And it is obvious whether you read our founding fathers, but especially in the Federalist Papers, that we are a government for the people, by the people. And I believe that people have spoken. A couple meetings ago, people unrelated to us, people of the community, came out in support. I believe there's 4 or 5 people came out in support of Jen after listening to the presentations. Not only that, but I think you guys are aware that the police union has come out in support of Jen. And I also believe the fire union has come out in support of Jen. I think the people have spoken. Now, we could have spent this week making phone calls, shaking hands with people, saying this is how we roll in the same circles, but I think the people have spoken that Jen should be your candidate. As well as that, I know that a lot of people talk about political experience. I know that was a big question. The 2 greatest presidents our country has seen, in my opinion, humble opinion, are George Washington and Ronald Reagan, both of which had no political experience, little to none. I think you need to remember that in this selection. We currently have a president that has an extensive resume, and I wonder if his resume came across your desk, what you guys would say. And I believe that's a kind of scary thing. Lastly, we have a position that is not just a 2-year vacancy. You walk out in that hallway and I see your pictures on that board, and many of you are here not just for 2 years, not just for 4 years, but for many years. As a conservative citizen of Plymouth, we need this seat to be held beyond 2 years. We need this seat to be held beyond 4 years. We need someone that will sit in this seat and maintain that seat. And that is not in relation to my wife. As a conservative Republican, we need that seat to be filled and be filled for an extended period of time. Lastly, albeit jaded, I think it's obvious where I stand in my vote. But I just want to remind you that we are here for the people and by the people. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Anybody else at this time?
Hello, my name is Stephen Birmingham. I'm a Plymouth Township resident. I live in Lake Point neighborhood. I'm the president of the HOA. I wanted to take a quick minute to recognize what I think was some good work by some good people. Recently, I had a resident contact me about the sign in front of Plymouth Township Soccer Park by our neighborhood, and that it was weather beaten. I took that information to Sue Brams, and Sue Brams communicated that to Park Foreman Eric Anderson, who quickly responded and quickly replaced it with a new sign. So I think by having good people in the right spots, this was a job that was able to get done. So I thank the current board for having people in place and being responsive to issues like that for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that to our attention as well.
Dan Callahan. I want to say thank you to the board, to all the residents of Plymouth Township. Appreciate all the candidates and all the input that was done. Again, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, now we're going to proceed. Next up is, I'm getting a lot of reverberation here. Hold on. Mr. LeBlanc, I'm going to use you again as my sound check technician. Are you good? Yeah, I can hear myself better too. Okay. All right, Jerry, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. At tonight's meetings, we will be seeking nominations for the position of Township Trustee for the unexpired position ending in November 20th, not the 21st, of 2024. This vacancy was created by the appointment of Robert Dorshevitz to the office of Township Treasurer following the resignation of former Treasurer Mark Clinton. Tonight, each board member will state their first preference for trustee. If none of the applicants has 4 votes on the first ballot, we will proceed to the second round and so on until a name emerges with 4 votes. At the end of each round, the person with the fewest votes or no votes will be eliminated from the future consideration. The person who emerges with the 4 votes will be appointed using our motion for that and will be seated immediately.
Okay.
Jerry, I have just a question. A gentleman out here said that Buckley was endorsed by unions. Did that come to us in email? How did we get notified?
I'm not familiar
We're
with
not
that.
aware of that.
No. Okay. You're on.
Okay, we're going to start this off starting with Trustee Stewart. Trustee Stewart, what is your first preference?
Gail Gruger.
1 vote for Gail Gruger. Mr. Dorshevitz?
Gail Grieger.
Gail Gruger. Supervisor?
Jennifer Buckley.
Jennifer Buckley, 1 for Jennifer. Clerk Borba? Jennifer Buckley. That's 2 votes for Jennifer Buckley. Trustee Monahan?
Jennifer Buckley.
That's 3 votes for Jennifer Buckley. Trustee Kermy?
Callahan.
Trustee Callahan? According to our approved process here, Mr. Callahan is now eliminated, and the vote will go between the next 2 people. And we will.
What?
Yes, that's what our.
No.
That's
That's
the
what's right in
method.
there.
That's what's the method right here.
No.
Kevin?
Stated right
I thought
here.
we went until somebody got 4 votes.
That is, but
But it also says,
Four boo. Don't go back on your word. You said 4 votes.
That was in writing.
Otherwise, it's a lie.
it's right here.
it's right here. I just read it.
4 votes.
Yes,
Right here.
Okay.
It's right
I
here.
want an affirmative, 4 votes.
4 votes.
4 votes.
But there's just 2 people
At the
left
end of
now.
each round, the person with the fewest votes or no
No
votes
votes.
will be eliminated from future consideration.
I didn't agree to that.
You approved the agenda.
I did not agree to that.
I didn't
I did
interpret.
not agree to that. It is so easy to see through you.
All right, Mr. Stewart, I move that all future nominations be closed and that all other applicants be dismissed and that the board be polled between Ms. Grieger and Ms. Buckley for the vacant trustee position. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Seconded by Clerk Vorba. Mr. Vorba, please take the roll.
Trustee Stewart.
Joe Grieger.
No, this is a motion. This is a motion to,
To make this, to close
Close
the
the
nominations
nominations
and
to
have a
people.
vote between Grieger and Buckley.
yes or no?
You can still vote for Grieger.
I want to check with my senior advisor here.
I can't advise you, John. You
Yeah.
gotta do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What do you say?
So close it?
No.
So he's voting no.
No.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
No,
Clerk Borba, yes. Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Trustee Kermy.
No.
Supervisor Heisey.
Yes.
The vote is failed, 3-3.
Okay.
So now I think we move to a second,
I would move to a second, I would request that we revote because we're not leaving here tonight until we have a vote, until we have a decision. I mean, a stall hands this over to Chuck Kermy and the Republican Party and it takes it away
It
from
has
us.
nothing to do with me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You're out of line.
No, because you're on
out of it.
you're
You're
on
out
the
of it.
executive board of the Wayne 11th Committee.
And I abstained.
Your
I
chairman
didn't
is
vote
here.
for it.
Then you should abstain tonight, sir. Then abstain tonight. Do the right thing. You can't serve 2 masters. Mr.
You're out of
Clerk,
control.
Please take the roll.
Trustee Stewart, what is your vote?
what do we,
Grieger.
wait,
Yeah, we're going to just keep
We're just
voting.
gonna keep voting.
We're staying here all night. I was in the legislature.
I've run
You were in the
marathons
legislature,
before.
you and I, and we had all-nighters, and we're willing to stay here all night until we have a resolution.
John, unless you want the Wayne 11th to decide for you. That's your choice.
Wayne 11th.
Yeah.
You're.
I mean, you know what's going to happen, John.
Yes,
Mr.
but you asked for it.
You're out of order. You're out of order.
But you brought this upon yourself.
This is not a Republican convention that you can control, okay? You'll have your chance. Mr. Stewart?
Mr. Stewart, what is your vote?
Gail Grieger.
Okay, Mr. Dorchevitz.
Dorchevitz.
Gail?
Okay, Buckley.
Okay, Buckley? Buckley?
Jennifer?
Jennifer?
Callahan.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to keep going until this is all over. But I think we need to make something perfectly clear.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to say it. The way the law reads on this is that if we have continued deadlock vote, this matter will go to the party committees. That's the Republican Party, the Democrats, Libertarians, etc. I don't know exactly how the Democrats do this, but apparently this matter would go to the Wayne 11th Executive Committee. I've contacted the chairman, Mr. Hooper, who is here tonight. I've contacted him 3 times looking for information. I've asked for the bylaws of the committee. I've asked for a list of the executive board members, and I have not received anything. I've sent you 3 separate emails, and you haven't responded. So I believe that we're being stonewalled by that organization. That says a lot about the lack of transparency that exists in the Wayne 11th and the fact that if we hand over this decision to them, then we're advocating our responsibilities and handing it over to a non-transparent entity, which is also organized as a political action committee. It's a PAC organized in the state of Michigan. It's a 17-member board, as far as I can tell. It is also, there's either 3 or 4 members from Plymouth Township that are on this board. The rest of them are from Livonia, Northfield, Canton, other communities in the 11th District Wayne County Committee. Mr. Kermey is, as he has said earlier, is one of those members of the Wayne 11 Executive Board, which is a political action committee. I was the former secretary of that committee many years ago. I'm sure you've taken an oath of office to serve on that committee. You've also taken an oath of office to serve on this board as well. Again, tie votes, gridlock, means that the decision goes to the Wayne 11th. And the Wayne 11th has also said in a stated resolution, which I have copies of, that this was a resolution that they adopted last Monday. It was not a face-to-face meeting. I understand it was a phone meeting. And that, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is basically the motion where they excommunicated Gail Grieger and Steve Birmingham from the Republican Party. So I guess you can just maybe you'll get your money back, I don't know. And that only Dan Callahan and Jennifer Buckley be considered as Republican candidates. So that's the Wayne 11th resolution that endorses both Dan Callahan and Jennifer Buckley. It's my understanding from a very active Republican that Mr. Kermey recused himself from that vote, and I think that was the right thing to do, because you can't serve two masters, Chuck, and you know that. So that's where we stand as of tonight. I would, again, recommend that we bring this matter down to the two remaining candidates who received the most votes, and that's what we agreed to in our agenda tonight. And those two individuals would be Buckley and Grieger.
Either way, though,
Mr. Callahan only got one vote here.
but either way, unless somebody gets 4 votes, they're not going to get. They're not.
Well, I think, listen, point of order.
I don't think she's a right fit.
Point of order, Mr. Supervisor.
Sure.
It was stated by someone else that Mr. Kermey abstained from voting. He just said that he abstained from voting. And he abstained from voting because he had a fiduciary duty and swore an oath. And now he's trying to serve two masters. And he wants to throw it into the realm to where he's going to have control, he and his other minions. And then that is not the Plymouth Township people. That is the majority Livonia, the majority Canton, Northville, City of Plymouth, and Northville Township. That's the way it works. And he abstained because he knew there was a conflict. And he knows there's a conflict now. And what he should do as an alleged man of honor is recuse himself now, and the votes would be for 5 people, and 3 will win. Absolutely.
So another option would be for one of you gentlemen to vote for Buckley, or for Kermey to vote for Buckley, because Kermey, we have the resolution here of the Wayne 11th. They endorsed Jen Buckley too. You know? It's okay. It's okay to vote for Jen. We're all going to
understand that.
We're all going to support her. We're all. I'm talking to Chuck. I mean, I love you, man. But I mean,
Love you too.
Is this open debate and discussion?
Well, it's.
I'm ready to have it out.
So far. So anyway.
On merit.
So I'm just saying that, the Wayne 11th has endorsed Ms. Buckley as well.
I don't think they endorsed, they said they were Republicans.
Well, hold on. Let me.
I don't know.
Let me just go back. This was verbatim from what was given to me by a Republican activist, and it matches what I've seen on social media. Among the applicants, only Dan Callahan and Jen Buckley be considered as Republican candidates.
But you now want to eliminate Callahan and you want to ask Chuck to vote for Buckley. That's what I heard.
That sounds reasonable, yeah. I mean, that's what his
I
party
disagree.
Okay.
On merit,
Yeah, okay, man.
on substance,
Okay.
and let the people vote.
Well, what people?
What people? It would be an election, is what it would be, right? Is that what you're saying, John? By letting
So if the
people vote?
Republicans nominate Callahan, then the Democrats are going to elect somebody, Libertarians are going to elect somebody.
They're
You
going to
can also-
nominate somebody.
You can,
Yeah,
well,
not
nominate.
elect.
Okay, fine, nominate. And you can also run as an independent. I don't know if you're aware, but someone could also theoretically run as an independent.
So
How do they do that? They just get the signatures?
I think they need signatures, or they need to do something. But
Yes.
I've researched it
Independence.
many years ago when I was in a similar situation.
Or they could do a write-in, right?
Yeah,
There could be
that never works.
but write-in could work. But right now, we're faced with a deadlock. The deadlock goes to the Wayne 11th. Mr.
And
Kerman.
and the Democrats and the
And, yeah,
The deadlock goes to an election.
no, it doesn't. No,
Yes, it
no,
does.
It goes to who you want, Mr. Kerman. We don't even know.
Jerry,
and I'm talking.
you are out of line.
No,
You are
I'm not talking right now.
scrambled up.
No, there's no scramble here. You recused yourself in that last vote because you knew there was a conflict. It's an obvious conflict. You can't serve two masters. And we don't even know if Callahan's
Twisty.
going to be their candidate.
Twisty.
He could be. Stop it! I've got the floor.
They might, there's no reason they have to appoint Callahan. They could appoint.
He could be a Trojan horse, as
somebody
far
else.
as we know, and he could appoint
They
somebody
could appoint
else.
Xantov.
Yeah, so we don't know what these people, the majority of them are not members of the Plymouth community. That's what's going on. This is a fix by Kermie and his cohorts to have a fix.
The most direct speaking guy up here. I didn't fix anything, Jerry. You must have fixed it in your mind.
So what do you think's going to happen, Chuck? If we deadlock, this goes to Wayne 11. Yes
Goes
or
to the
no?
election, right?
No,
It goes to Wayne
that's
11.
not true, Chuck, and you know that.
No, I don't know it, so explain
Okay,
it.
no, I'll then be happy to. Then it goes to the Wayne 11th Executive Board, which you sit on. That Executive Board, by law, you're now given statutory authority under state law. As a result, you guys have to select a nominee. You will place the Republican nominee on the November ballot. There's no primary. That's the primary.
Right. So
Okay.
it goes to an
right.
election.
Okay. That's
You said
an election.
no.
No.
That's an
Chuck,
election in
Chuck,
November.
The election is in November, and you and the Wayne 11th are going to appoint who you want as the Republican nominee, the Republican standard bearer. The Democrats and the Libertarians will do the same thing. But
Voters will choose.
But we're out of the. Yeah, they'll probably choose a Democrat. How's that?
Oh, really? In
yeah.
this time, in this
yeah.
town? I don't
If
believe it.
the path that you're going down with your candidate, and that's the beginning of the end, just like you had in Canton. Okay, just like in Canton.
Beginning of the
and
end.
if you don't think that we're being targeted by the other parties, the opposition, you're out of touch.
I think our voters are smarter than that.
Well, there's only one candidate for the trustee position who stood up here and said, I voted for each of the 6 of you Republicans.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know
Only
what
one candidate
the other people may have
who
done.
stood up here and said, I voted for each of the 6 of
His
you.
point is correct. How do you know the other ones didn't?
I know Mr. Callahan didn't vote for me, and he was my first choice, so, initially, so.
My statement stands. Only one person stood up here and said, I voted for each of the 6 of you Republicans.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Right, so
I think
help me out with that.
Chuck, I think you need to do the right thing here and support the person who has the most votes, who has 3 votes already. Your guy only has 1 vote. Jennifer Buckley is endorsed by the Republicans. She's supported by them. Mr. Callahan has fought the good fight. I appreciate his efforts. I appreciate your efforts, Chuck, to stand up for him. But at this point, we as a board have got to make a decision.
It's our job.
We cannot pass this on to political parties who are going, how are they going to, when are they going to do this? Where? In what city?
Smoke-filled back room.
I mean, in a smoke-filled room, at a bar, at a restaurant someplace? Where are they going to do this? Where are these votes going to be taken?
Yeah.
Hey, the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, the Libertarian Party, we're abdicating our responsibility to them. And that's terrifying. I'm sorry. I don't want our nominees decided by majority people who don't live in our community.
That's
the
what will happen.
17 members of for example, the 17 members of the Wayne County GOP, Wayne 11 GOP, as far as I can tell, because I don't have the updated list, either 3 or 4 of them live in Plymouth Township. We're handing that decision over to them. That's not right. It's not democratic. It's not fair. And it's not fair to all these people who have shown up here, who have complied in good faith with all of our requests. And we're going to say, sorry, not good enough. We're going to let some guy from Livonia decide. That's not fair.
Kurt, was this the same language from last week?
Yes.
So you guys agreed to it last week?
And the way we interpret it is you would go round and round until you got 4.
Which is what we did.
Which is what, well, yeah, and I just introduced a motion to short circuit that because you guys disagreed with what's clearly in the agenda.
The agenda calls
The agenda
for
says that
elimination.
the person with the lowest name is going to drop out.
And it said at each round, the person with the fewest votes or no votes will be eliminated from future
And you've
consideration.
agreed to it. You agreed to it last year, last month?
Last week, you agreed to it this week.
Yeah, so-
And then now we voted down a motion to that effect. So we can go back. I'm
But
just
we had
asking.
3 people up here that interpret it the same way I did. There's 3 of us. I think Bob did, and
apparently,
John.
John's
And
okay
me.
with.
John did, but we haven't heard from Bob.
So maybe it was
Did you interpret
confusing
it this way?
writing.
I'm asking you to do what you asked.
How would you
Chuck to
like
do.
to-
I would like you to change your vote to Gail Grieger
Then-
on the basis of merit because
Okay.
the policy, the best policy on the basis of merit is the best politics.
Okay.
And you know that.
Aren't you- would you-
because George Romney and Bill Milliken preached that for 20 years as our only 2 governors from
Would you,
62 to
John-
83 and Republicans.
John, would you be opposed to a vote just between Grieger and Buckley? Why not do that? You can still vote for Gail.
Bob
But what are
Meyer
you
changed
losing
it.
out of it?
Well, you're not, you lose nothing. You're going to
We
vote
are
for
not
Gail no
changing
matter
our,
what.
and I like that.
But what's going to happen though is if we keep going down this path tonight, your vote's never going to count. It's going to go to the Wayne 11th.
It's going to go to the voters.
Wayne 11th.
Why do you keep saying that the voters are not going to have a chance to vote in November?
Come on, Chuck. You're dancing on a pin there.
No,
know
you
it.
are.
You're gonna get
Anyone any of these people could get on the ballot in November.
Oh, so
All 9 of them.
You could appoint whoever you want.
There's no
right?
primary.
That's even better.
Right, there's no primary, so all 9 could be on the ballot.
That's not the way it works.
Mr. Kermit.
Well, they could.
That's not the way it
Mr.
works.
Kermit.
They could vote as independent, they could sign up as independents.
Oh, come on.
Mr. Kermit, you have already showed that you knew that it
on.
was a conflict. You abstained from the Wayne 11th one.
You guys are
That's the truth.
over lawyering me.
No. No. Did you or did you not abstain? You said you abstained.
That sounds like a court.
You abstained.
You abstained.
You know there's a conflict.
You know there's a conflict.
And you're gonna-
there is a conflict.
And you're going to influence
It's
the
a legal
situation.
conflict.
I think, Chuck, the thing to do tonight is that for the honor of this body, this board, you have a choice. You can vote for Buckley, and it's over.
I am kind of.
I hear the Pearson
I am
News.
please kindly asking you to do it, but for the substance, the merit, the quality, and the moral of your wife, Chuck Kermit. She is
My wife
lady
has
of the
nothing to
highest-
do with this.
She is a lady of the highest respect. Okay.
You don't even know her.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What the heck
I
does
don't
that
know.
have to do with
I'm
anything?
sorry.
That's irrelevant.
I attributed those things to her.
That's irrelevant. Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you, but I don't really think you know her
Okay.
to be able to make that kind of a judgment.
I would like to move for a revote. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Clerk Borba.
Okay.
What are we
so
doing?
We're going to revote.
We're going to revote.
All in favor of revoting, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go around the horn again. Start
Yes.
with Mr. Stewart.
Why have
Trustee
we
Stewart.
violated?
We haven't violated anything.
We have violated the 45-year rule as a lawyer in family law and child custody cases that you never bring children to court or to a session like this under 12 years old. That is so offensive.
Oh, stop.
But your
who?
child
You?
psychologist will tell you that is morally
Attacking Buckley.
wrong.
Oh, for the love
Okay,
of
stop.
God.
I sat on the House floor for 6 years, sir, and we had my children. Then my children should have been excluded because I brought them with me all the
Under
time.
10.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's bad parenting.
Okay. All right.
Trustee Stewart, what is your vote?
What's your vote, John?
You know,
That's
Ms.
why they're
Buckley,
still
I'm
there.
sorry that you're hearing his rant
John, what's your vote?
about
please?
your personality.
What's your vote, John? Buckley or Grieger?
It's Grieger.
Okay.
Yeah, Grieger.
Okay, Bob.
Trustee Stewart.
I said Gail Grieger.
Time to break the tie, buddy.
Gail Grieger.
Okay. Buckley.
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 Chuck, it's back to you.
Chuck.
Callahan.
Okay.
See, he knows.
He knows what's going to
He
happen.
knows
what's gonna
he
happen.
knows.
It's gonna go-
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
do know
go-
a lot. You're
It's
right.
going to go to the
Thank
Wayne
you.
11th. It's going to go to the Wayne 11th. Yeah, I would love to have you come up here, Mr. Chairman.
Did this.
And we want your address, too.
He's the one that did this. He's the one that's violating his oath. He.
Okay.
I really don't want to
No,
discuss.
there's no comment. There's
All
no
right.
comment right
No,
now.
I'll let him come up. I'll
Okay.
let him come up.
Supervisor Heisey, thank you for allowing me to speak. On behalf of the Wayne 11th, I am the chair. My name is James Hooper. I live in Livonia. Newsflash. We, as the Republican Party for the Wayne 11th, which incorporates Northville, Plymouth, Canton, and Livonia, have a fiduciary responsibility to the Republican Party in that area.
Conflict.
I'm disappointed to hear the banter that is going on here in this board. The Wayne 11th worked hard to get all of these Republicans elected to this board in 2020. I personally gave up 7 Saturdays in our jurisdiction to do canvassing for all of the candidates that were running. Two of those Saturdays were here in Plymouth Township. As it regards to Mr. Kermey, he abstained from that vote. My expectation of Mr. Kermey would be that he would abstain from another vote if it came to the Wayne 11th. We would choose a candidate that we believe has the best interests of the Republicans in Plymouth Township. To the point of, well, you would have folks that do not live in Plymouth Township making this decision. As the chairman of this organization, of this committee, our first responsibility would be to reach out to the Republican precinct delegates within Plymouth Township for their feedback to guide us on that decision. I think it is a incorrect foregone conclusion that we would automatically choose Mr. Callahan, which you seem very fearful of. Our job is to make sure that we have a qualified Republican candidate in this situation on the November ballot.
Question. Did you interview all 9 candidates that submitted their credentials?
No, we did not.
Did you form an opinion based on what somebody else told you or based on rumor and innuendo and lies? Did you interview all 9 candidates? How were you guys able to pick 2 people and say we endorse them if you'd never even talked to the other ones?
Based on the information that was presented by Plymouth Township precinct delegates
I'm a
at our
precinct
meeting.
delegate. I didn't present any information. Nobody asked me.
You got the information from Dwayne Zantop. We all know it, okay? We get the same emails.
I did
They're
not get the
insulting,
information from
They're
Dwayne.
insulting, they're incendiary, and they're threatening. And we resent it. I resent it, for one.
Threatening? What happened?
Supervisor, you seem very resentful. I will give you that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for...
We're going to give the board another opportunity to vote. Trustee Kermey.
Callahan.
Trustee Monahan.
Buckley?
Clerk Forva. Gail Greiger. Supervisor.
Buckley.
Wait, Barbara, did you say Greg?
I said Gail Greiger.
Grieger.
Gail Grieger.
Okay, so Grieger has 3 votes, and Buckley has 2 at this point.
Okay.
And Callahan has 1.
Where, I'm sorry, I did not hear. Who was the third Grieger vote?
I am.
Jerry changed his vote.
I'm not going to allow this to go to. I'm not going to allow this to go to the Wayne and have you decide.
Chair.
Yeah, that's right. And you have a conflict here, and you know it. That's why he abstained before. I'm not going to allow this to go past this board.
I did not. The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak which resists.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
All right, so
Now we've got 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for another vote.
let's start with John.
John, what is your vote?
Who's your choice?
Gail Grieger.
Okay.
Bob,
Gail Grieger.
Supervisor Heisey,
Buckley.
Clerk Borvick, Gail Grieger,
Buckley?
Trustee Kermy?
Callahan.
Well, under the rules that we established, I thought, in the beginning of the meeting, the person with the lowest votes should be excluded again.
It's the only way to do, the only way to break it's the only way to break it.
I mean, if you're interested in making a decision by this board, or if you're just interested, it comes down to, do you want to make the decision here, or do you want somebody else to make the decision for you?
I want us to make the decision, but I don't.
Then we need a vote to eliminate Callahan. Because that's what the rules are.
Then Callahan needs to drop off. And again, he has fought the good fight. I'm not knocking the man. He doesn't have the support. There's only one of us on this board that supports him.
Well, we got a
I mean,
3-2
we gotta-
plurality right now.
Well, I mean, we got to break the tie. So I'm going to make the motion again that we move to. I wrote it down because I was afraid this would come to this, because it's just the gamesmanship here is just horrible. I move that all future nominations be closed, that all other applicants be dismissed, and that the board be polled between Ms. Grieger and Ms. Buckley for the vacant trustee position. It's a runoff, folks.
That's the way it works.
Happens in
That's the way it
life all
works.
the time. So I make a
Second.
motion, clerk supporter is going to second it. Mr. Stewart, let's call the ball, man.
Okay.
We got to make, you can still vote for Gail, but we got to make a decision here.
What is your vote? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 No.
Okay.
Motion carries. Mr. Callahan is eliminated by vote.
And again, Mr. Callahan, thank you for your interest and your participation and for your service to our country. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that you consider public service again. So,
We do appreciate it.
all right.
Trustee, no, we have a vote again?
So we have to go around the horn.
Okay. Trustee Kermy.
So who are we voting? Who are the
It's either
candidates?
Buckley
Either
or
Buckler or Gail Greger.
It's either Buckley or Grieger. We can come back to you, Chuck, if you
Yeah,
want.
you come back to me.
All right, let's start with John Stewart.
Gail Grieger?
Grieger.
Buckley,
Buckley.
Buckley.
you have two choices, Chuck. Come on.
No, you can't abstain. Can't abstain.
Just remember your
No.
party.
That's something. Just remember what?
She's endorsed by Wayne 11. It's not going to,
Has nothing to do with party politics. It has to do with integrity and what people are really representing. So,
okay, so can I make a pitch for Jennifer Buckley? I mean, she's a veteran. She's a Gold Star widow. Her husband is a
Hold on a minute.
Marine.
You're
I
going
mean-
to start advocating.
Well, no, I mean, you were doing it too, so, I mean, Chuck, you've seen everybody's resume, and she's supported by the Republican Party. Should be a great nominee for the party. I'll certainly support her, and I would hope you would too, and we'll all be on the same team.
Why don't
Vote
you,
is yours.
why don't you put her on a committee, give her some experience, she can run in 2024. I don't want today to be, I did not want to have to speak about any candidate in either way, but
I have no idea why you won't agree to that.
I think.
Common
she-
sense, rational and reasonable.
We have the call, yeah, we got to call the question, Chuck.
I'm sorry, John, what were you saying about agreeing to what?
I don't know, there was a discussion about appointing somebody to a board or commission or something.
Okay.
So.
The call is
Why
to
don't you get
you.
her some experience?
The call,
Let's get it over with, Chuck.
call is to
She
you.
was a disaster.
So you want to create, this creates great division.
No, we have a motion on the floor, Chuck. You're not complying with the motion. The motion is between Buckley and Grieger. You have to cast a
Above all,
vote.
you're a free man and you don't have to vote.
No, you can't. You got to vote.
You got to
You
vote.
have to
No, you
vote.
don't.
We don't do that. We don't do that here.
You got to vote.
Okay, man.
Well, let's take a recess then.
No, we have a live motion
Live
on the
motion
floor,
table.
and it's your turn to vote.
Got me boxed in.
Well,
move.
we're not trying to box anybody in. We're trying to expedite the process and make sure that we have the say and not the political parties. We want this person, and it's been a 5-1 vote to make it between these two people. Don't get on your phone. Don't get on your phone. Are you texting Xantop?
No,
or
I'm
what?
not
Come
taking.
on, man. Come on.
You know
man.
what? You're out of control.
Well, no, I mean,
it's no Xantop
Get
on there.
get off your cell phone. You make a vote, man.
We get a vote.
You're on yours all the time.
Vote.
I'm not casting votes on it.
There's an open vote on the floor.
So if I abstain,
You have to give a reason.
Yeah. Wait,
I agree.
you could. Well,
Then
Staying out of this.
it becomes 5 votes, 3 wins.
Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
Yes,
takes
it does.
4 votes.
No.
Present and voting.
President voting, abstain. Bob, we've gone down that road before.
So, wait a minute, trustee
It's not. We're not debating fitness at this point. We're not debating the politics.
We're not debating fitness?
It's a 2-2 vote at this point. We're trying to.
see, that's the problem right there. We're not debating.
Okay.
We can't.
Well, we can.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, the
Substance?
The question is
It's
on the
called.
table. It's on the table, man.
Qualifications?
It's a live vote on the table.
Experience?
I'll keep the board open for you here for a couple more seconds, but we got to move on.
We got to move on.
So wait a minute, Clerk Barber changed his vote.
No,
Good.
he changed it back.
Yeah.
So there are
Changed it
3,
back.
There's
There's
3
3
votes for Buckley.
no, there are 3, but you, Bob, and I are votes for Grieger.
No, I changed my
he changed his
vote.
vote.
Oh, you did change?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I see.
So that's why we're in the
I
box.
hear you.
No, we also had a motion after that to
Right.
basically to close debate and to make this a runoff between the two people.
And it passed
And
legally.
it passed legally. So, Chuck, you got to make a decision.
It's the first time I ever couldn't answer like that.
Well,
I would be glad to vote to allow you to abstain.
No.
there has to be a
I-
reason.
If he abstains, then they have 3 votes, and that's a majority of the 5 left.
No, you gotta have
Yes,
4.
John, that's math.
Yeah, you gotta have 4.
There's going to be
No one is elected unless you
does
have
say
4.
There's going to be a motion.
You're right, it does
This
say
is not,
four.
we're not, this, sorry.
And Jerry is flip-flopped.
There is going to be a motion after this. This is the poll, and then there's going to be a motion.
You really
to-
want-
So what's the choreography here?
You really want somebody that has a minority of the votes on the board, or 3 votes. You want somebody to be appointed that only has the support of 3 people.
That's the law. If he
No,
abstains,
no.
it's 5 votes, then it's 3.
And then there's going to be a motion. It's right.
Really
in there.
wanna do that.
There will be a motion that has to be.
The question is, do you want it to go to the Wayne 11th?
You want to go to the political
I
parties or
don't,
not?
but we have not had an opportunity, if we're going to talk,
We've had
I mean, we
plenty of
gotta-
opportunity.
then let's talk about the candidates.
We've had
Let's
plenty.
talk about the candidate.
We've got all of their information. We've gone over and over it. They came up here and spoke. They were all very eloquent and very nice. I like all of them. I think they're all very fine people, but the vote is yours.
Jerry, Mrs. Buckley said she wouldn't uphold her oath.
Yes, she would.
She said she would vote her conscience. She
We
said she
always
would
vote
not-
our conscience.
She attacked the public schools. What else did she do?
Listen, she has a
She's
right.
not fit.
She had. Wait a minute. I homeschooled my children. Are you saying I'm not fit? I homeschooled my
You did
children.
not attack
yeah.
the public schools.
Did you
My
reject
kids
the public
happen to get a
schools, the
good
private
education in the park.
The vote is yours.
OLGC, K through 8, charter
Out of order.
schools,
Call for order.
homeschools in this area?
Call for order.
All right, stop. Chuck,
Vote.
you got.
She's not
you're
fit,
creating.
Jerry.
See, and the Wayne 11.
We're not
supports
going to
it.
have any discussion, is what you're saying,
You've got the vote is on the floor, and the vote is yours.
and the discussion is closed.
You can
For
ask
this vote.
a reasonable question or something, but we're not going to start. We've heard
There's
some
no
other-
debate.
We've heard some other stuff here tonight that's not relevant, as you know, Chuck.
Yeah.
So.
So vote.
How can you vote for somebody who won't uphold the law?
She didn't say that.
She did too.
She did not. What she said she would vote conscience. That's what
Which
she
is
said.
voting on.
No, it's not.
You're a
The conscience-
lawyer,
Priority
Audrey.
over following the law.
Let's go.
What is it
Chuck,
that you don't understand about those words?
I want to hear more.
Chuck, the vote is yours.
I haven't decided
Okay,
yet.
let him go. Let him go.
We can stay here all
Stay here
night.
all night. Okay.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Although we have 3 vendors here for trash hauling.
Well,
Well, you know what?
Why don't we?
I'm sure they've been to some exciting movies, and we're not
Can't
going
table it till after?
and we're not going to recess or anything like that.
We're voting.
My vote.
We have a motion on the table to choose between two candidates.
And so we've
We've winnowed the 9 people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have voted.
We've winnowed
We're
the
waiting
9
for your
people
vote.
down to 2. And the board is open, Chuck, and you have to cast a vote. And that, I know it's not easy, but, you know.
And we're still subjecting children under 10 to this debate.
Just.
That's disgraceful, disgusting, immoral, and unethical.
Okay, everybody. Okay.
Immoral.
All right. John,
Ought
stop.
to be ashamed of
John,
yourself.
stop. Chuck, you're perpetuating this, man. You gotta stop this. You can stop this.
John, your yelling isn't helping.
Terrible.
Everybody, shush.
Absolutely.
Chuck, stop. Make it stop. Make it stop, Chuck.
He is losing his mind.
Stop. Make it
Chuck,
stop.
vote
Chuck,
is yours.
make it stop. You can stop this, Chuck.
Bring it on.
You can stop this, Chuck.
We're adults in the room.
Chuck, the vote is yours, Chuck.
I know.
Okay, he knows.
That's
You're
why
having a lot of fun with this.
That's why I'm contemplating it. And I appreciate you giving me some time to deliberate over it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hey, you play music on your computer?
Is this like on Jeopardy? You got to
Yeah, I could do that, but I really don't sing well.
This is not that hard.
I know, I'm not as smart as some people.
Everybody needs their time, Jerry.
Why did you change back?
This is called sausage making.
What about Bob's point that we're appointing someone with 3 votes?
This
You
is
have no one with intellectual honesty.
We're not
He would be the
appointing.
fourth, John.
It forces me into the box of making the four.
There still has to be a motion.
There'll
after
be
this.
4.
There'll be 4, John.
You still have to have a motion after this.
Right.
Two years from now, that'll be interesting. What I did on my summer vacation started today, right?
Would you like me to go get you a pizza or something, John, while you think it over?
They used to bring cots into us in the legislature.
What was it? They brought
Cots. They bring in sleeping bags and stuff.
Sleepy Bear.
Sleeping bags.
I know, but
They
that way
bring
you
in
could be a
sleeping
sleepy
bags.
bear, like on the Travel Lodge.
Yeah.
Okay. Buckley.
Okay.
motion carries for Buckley.
Okay, it's not a motion. I move that the Board of Trustees appoint Jennifer Buckley to fill the vacant position of Township Trustee for the unexpired term ending November 20th, 2024. Said individual to be sworn in by the Township Clerk and installed immediately. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Borba. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
What are we voting on now?
This is the motion.
Motion to appoint Buckley.
The motion.
Okay.
You gave a preference, and now we're voting. Okay. Trustee Kermy.
Wait, let's start with Borba. I'm looking at both here.
Okay. Vorba,
Yes,
yes.
I'm looking at mine.
Kermy,
Yes.
Okay.
Stewart,
No.
Dorshevitz,
No.
Monahan,
Yes.
Heisey.
Yes.
Ms. Buckley wins.
Come on up.
I'm going to read this in small pieces for you, and if you would be so kind, just turn sideways here a little bit so we can take pictures. Please raise your right hand, Ms. Buckley. I, Jennifer Buckley,
I, Jennifer Buckley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the laws, ordinances, and policies
the laws, ordinances, and policies
of the Charter Township of Plymouth.
of the Charter Township of Plymouth.
I will faithfully perform the duties
I will faithfully perform the duties
of trustees for the Charter Township of Plymouth,
of the trustees of the Charter Township of Plymouth,
being ever mindful
being ever mindful
my service a reflection on the Township of Plymouth,
that my service is a reflection of the Township of Plymouth,
and I will discharge these duties
and I will discharge these duties
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, trustee.
Sorry, we had the wheel.
Ms. Buckley, if you'd be so kind, Ms. Buckley.
Ms. Buckley,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
sit
you
up
get to
here.
sit
You're
up.
up here now.
We're right up here.
You're official.
You're up here. I move that we take a 5-minute recess, and Trustee Buckley, if you would like to have some family photos, we can do that either tonight or we can do that at some other point for your convenience. But we do have a meeting to conduct here tonight.
With you. I worked very closely with the precinct delegates in this township, and Mr. Dorshevitz is not a delegate. You want to let him know that? Huh? And the other thing is, it really bothers me that you say sent you threatening letters. I've never done such a thing. If it did, have me arrested right now.
I'll show them to you.
They're not threatening.
you're
They're not
flaying all-
threat-
you're
Listen,
flaying
it's my
the-
turn to talk.
Okay,
Please let
well,
me
you're
talk.
accusing
Let me talk.
me of things,
Let
so-
me talk.
Okay, fine.
Okay. This meeting was very disrespectful to myself, to Mr. Kermy, and other people. It was extremely rude and disrespectful. And I don't appreciate it.
Okay,
Rude to me.
okay.
Right over here.
Just let him talk. He wants to talk, let him talk.
I was very upset to start accusing me of things like that. I helped elect every one of you. I went out and knocked on the streets, and I worked with the precinct delegates to help you. If it wouldn't have been for some of us, you never would have been elected. But I helped to turn this township around to help you, and you know I did. Didn't I? And also, I went to the Wayne 11th on your behalf in the same situation to help you. We were going to do the same thing for you, Kurt, as we would have done for Mr. Callahan. And that's the truth. And you were part of that. Mr. Dorshevitz, you went with me to that meeting, didn't you? Do you remember that? You did go.
What are you talking? I don't know.
We went to the Wayne 11th.
In 2015?
About 20 of us.
Is that the one
It was
where
about
Carl
15.
Berry, that's when Carl Berry was going to rig it for Shannon Price, just like you guys tried to do?
Paul Cusick was there then. There were about 20 of us went there. So we were trying to do the same thing for you, Mr. Kermy. I mean, Mr. Dorshevitz. Jeez, forget you guys' name.
Yeah, we all look alike.
This guy, the big guy.
All right.
The big guy. So, all right, that's all I got to say.
All right,
I think
thank
you owe me an apology. And Mr.
All
Kermy,
right, thank you.
are you going to apologize to us?
What?
You need to apologize.
I thought you wanted to talk.
I'm a public.
You said you didn't want me to talk, so I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
I was out here as part of the public, and I'm out
You have
here,
the floor.
and
Okay.
you're attacking me for no reason. It's terrible.
Okay, thank you.
You're disrespectful.
Have a nice day. Okay. Next.
Hi, my name is Eileen Coleman. I just had a comment. There's been some conversation about upholding the law, whether somebody would uphold the law. Historically, we've had bad laws in our country. Certainly, they shouldn't have been upheld, slavery being one of them. So, of course, if you take a position, you vote your conscience has to be well-formed, right? So all laws are not upheld. Some of them are actually immoral at times in history. And we're compelled to vote our conscience. That's all I had to say.
No, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. When you don't vote, when you take an oath to uphold the law, to vote the law, when you don't vote the law, then you get sued and you lose every single time. Your job is to honor the oath that you just took here. You uphold the law. You respect the law. You do not vote the way that you feel like it because you don't like something. If you don't like something, then you work to get the law changed, but you don't vote against the law.
Gee, I was taught render unto Caesar is what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God.
Okay, so we're not at board comment.
Well, I'm just a Presbyterian theologian.
Okay, Chuck, you want, it's board
Motion to
comments?
move?
Board
Motion
comment
to
time.
adjourn?
It's board comment time.
No, board comment.
Will we send out an update, please, on the sidewalk repair program, what the target of when they think they're going to start? I think they're getting close, within maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something.
Yeah, they're
weather dependent.
They're getting going.
So people are aware that it's upcoming.
Well, the people who are...
Yeah, I know, they have a letter.
They know that's coming. I can have
I would
Jeremy...
like to know that.
No, that's fair. I can have Jeremy send us something, an update. Okay. That's all I have.
I just wanted to take the time in this late hour to thank everyone that came here tonight to give us their proposals and their bids. It was really interesting, and I do look forward to working with whomever it is that we ultimately choose. I also want to congratulate Ms. Buckley on her win. I also want to apologize for some of the comments that were made, a personal affront to various people in the heat of the moment. I think we have to, as a board, maintain our calm at all times. Remember why we're here, not for us, but for you. And we can't do that if we're sitting here arguing amongst ourselves. So I apologize that you had to see the darker side of that.
Okay. Jerry Borba.
Yes. Again, thank everybody who applied for the position. I think that was great that we had 9 people apply. That shows that there's people out there who have some good public interest, and so I appreciate that. Yes, we did get a little heated up here. Sometimes democracy, where you have free speech, sometimes gets a little messy. That's what happens. That's why they say you don't want to watch certain things performed, like sausage making or legislation. So it can get a little heated. And so, but I think that everybody here, we're speaking their mind and their conscience, and we're trying to do the right thing. And even though we did disagree, rather heatedly, I still appreciate all of you. And again, welcome, Ms. Buckley. Just as a note for election stuff, we'll be mailing out over 5,000 ballots tomorrow morning that we've processed already. We've sent out 11,000 applications. Starting tomorrow, people can come into the township and get an application, or they can actually receive a ballot. At that point, we will issue an absentee ballot. You can vote that ballot here. We'll have a place for you to privately cast your ballot and then turn it back in, or you can take it back home and do the same. And encourage your neighbors to do the same thing. And so we got out all of our military ballots on time, which was required by law on Saturday by 4 o'clock. And so even though we received all of our ballots late due to all the controversy with lawsuits and challenges to the signature situation, we still got those ballots out in time, and we're looking forward to receiving all of our ballots. We've already received about half of them at this point. So
those are ballot applications, right? Or what does that mean when you say that you've received ballots?
They gave us just a portion of our ballots.
Okay.
Because of the lateness of the decision for what the ballot was, who's going to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
They couldn't deliver all the ballots to all the communities. So they made a partial.
The freshly printed ballots in your inventory.
In the inventory, they were only able to supply a portion to each community because they couldn't do all of them to all the communities. So they made a partial delivery. So we'll be getting the rest of those later. But right now, starting tomorrow, you can come in and receive a ballot. Thank you very much.
Okay, Bob?
Three things. It did get pretty ugly earlier tonight, which is unfortunate, but it is part of the process. One thing that I do want to say, though, to the chiefs was that I thought it was highly unusual and a little disappointing if the unions took a side in this fight, because they usually do not do that. And I did not see any letters, but if they were out there, then...
They don't control the unions.
I know they don't, but...
No,
I'm unaware of...
and they certainly have a First Amendment right to do that. I mean,
Well, I
they've
know they
endorsed
do,
us
but
in
it's
political-
highly unusual.
Plymouth Township, it's highly unusual.
Yes.
In other communities...
But I didn't see a lot. Did you see a letter?
No, I saw nothing.
No.
I only heard the spouse say it happened.
Okay.
Okay, so two other things, shifting gears. Tax bills are going out on schedule. You're welcome. Thank you.
Go green.
Go green. And last thing is that I'm just about finished with the analysis on water rates, and I think the recommendation is going to be good news. If we need to raise them at all, it will be a very, very small number.
Good news.
Yeah.
All set. John Stewart.
I want to welcome Trustee Buckley. I want to tell you that in my 45 years inside Wayne County courts, I'm going to use that experience. And I really enjoy my judges, and I really enjoy working with the police officers. I had prosecuted. But I've seen some dirtier things in this township politically, and more negative things in this township than I saw my 6 years in the state legislature. If you don't follow the rules when running a meeting, then you don't follow the rules. But this is a statewide problem, because on July 12th, the Michigan Townships Association is having an online forum on how to conduct effective, ruled meetings. My wife and I have never done a negative mailing. We have never had a negative post. And I saw that. I saw negative posts from up here. And he who throws, or she who throws dirt, loses ground. Confucius. So don't give me any arrogant, threatening talk tonight. Let's go onward and forward. That's all I have to say. I've been here 38 years, same house, same law office. The people know me.
Okay, Trustee Buckley, how are you?
Hi.
Is your microphone on?
Should be a red button there.
You got to press it hard. It's on now.
Well, this certainly isn't how I thought I would be elected. I never thought my family would be personally attacked in the election process. So no hard feelings. I don't necessarily agree with some of the things that you're saying. However, I'm here to work together with the board for the greater good of the township. I look forward to getting started. There's a bit of a learning curve, and I'm just very excited to, put my best foot forward here and let's get going.
Thank you.
So I just, Jennifer, when you visit me in my office, you will see a turtle by my desk. And I had that turtle on my desk when I was in Lansing on my seat on the House floor. And so much like the turtle, you have to have a hard shell. And you do develop a hard shell in this business, unfortunately. But also, like a turtle, sometimes you have to go into your shell for protection. But the nice thing about being a turtle is that turtle is always moving forward. Did you notice that? Turtles never, they don't know how to back up. They're always moving forward. So I have a turtle on my desk at work. My wife has a turtle on her desk, and she certainly has had her days as well. But we welcome you to this organization. I think you're going to be a very kind of a breath of fresh air, kind of a different perspective that I think we need. And I think it's also good for the community and ultimately good because, you know, these are partisan offices, and I think it'll ultimately be good for the party because, you know, unfortunately, these are partisan offices according to state law. So, again, welcome, and please stop by my office, and we'll be happy to set you up with all your you know, business cards and plaques and goodies and all that. Okay, our next meeting will be June 28th. I told you this is going to be a busy month, where we'll be selecting the new trash hauler. We will have we're going to award a bid for a new ambulance that's being paid for with ARPA money. And then we will also be authorizing the purchase of a new automated stretcher for that new ambulance. And Chief Conley will have all of that information for us and can answer all of the questions you have on that. Right now, that's all we've got. We may have some consent agenda items, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet. July 12th, Bob, if you would like to, if you're ready, we can do the water rate approvals. Yeah. And then we also want to award a contract for upgrades to the multi-purpose room. And then we may have a cluster housing option approval for the Purcell, the so-called Purcell property on North Territorial. It's Congressman.
The actual contract?
I believe it would be, yeah. Because I think we've already, as I recall, we already gave the pre-approval, so this would be the actual contract. So the good news is we don't meet the first week of July, so we do have a 4th of July parade this year through downtown Plymouth like we used to do, and